Yeah, Shalom. All honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham Rakah Kodash. Big up all of the Acham and the Achraf, the virgin and the sister them, who will push 100% through to the four corners, and double honor to all the elder them who come before me and push it too. So, yo, today we are going to chat about the Garden of Eden, and we're going to specialize in a Havilah. Because everyone know where every other thing about Eden is except for Havilah. So we are going to explain Havilah. And we're going to start in the Genesis 46 and 5. And Jacob, rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, and the wagons, which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. Right, so we're talking about Jacob. Jacob lived in Beersheba, right? He owned Beersheba and he also owned a place in Hebron. Cause his grandfather Abraham by the cave of Machpelah in a Hebron, right? And Jacob have 12 sons, right? Deuteronomy 27 verse 12. These shall stand upon the Mount Gerizim to bless the people when ye are come over Jordan. Simeon, Levi, Judah, and Issachar, and Joseph, and Benjamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ever for curse. Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. Right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 try right there. So all the sons of Jacob. And there's a point why I bring this up. Because Jacob lived in a Beersheba, which is in the land of Simeon, right? And all the other tribes get lands in the same area. Because the father can only give unto his son what he have. So he give unto his sons the land of Israel because God give Canaan the land of Israel unto Jacob, right? So when you go to Genesis 10 and 7, and the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah, right? Havilah being a son of Cush, and Rama and Sabteka, and the sons of Rama and Sheba and Dedan, right? So if Cush has a son named Havilah, that means that his land will be near Cush's land because the father cannot give unto the son where he don't have, right? Judith 1 and 10, until you come beyond Tanis and Memphis, and to all the inhabitants of Egypt until you come to the borders of Ethiopia. So Cush or Ethiopia, which is Greek for Cush, his land start right after Egypt, right? On the outskirts of Egypt is Cush's land. When you look on a map, right, certain maps that already have that information already figured out, right? Right past Egypt, you have the Cushitic people, kingdom of Cush, Sheba, and the Red Sea is a lake. It's a sea, but it's like Michigan. Michigan is separated in a two parts. One part on the other side of Lake Michigan, and the next on the next part of Lake Michigan. But it's all Michigan. Same way with the Red Sea. One part is Kush, on the northeast African side, and then on the Arabic side is Kush as well. You understand? All that is Kush land. That's why you see Nimrod's son, Cush's son Nimrod, him get Shinar, that is Babylon or Iraq, because that area is Cush land too. The whole of that is Cush land. Cush get a big tract of land from both sides of the Red Sea, east and west is Cush's land, and this is important to remember. But we also can take this and start for puzzle pieces together, right? Because it is said in 1 Samuel 15 and 7 that Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comes to Shur, which is over against Egypt. No, when you look on the map, Havilah and to Shur. Shur is the Sinai Peninsula, right? And Havilah starts in a East Africa, right? Latitude wise and longitude wise. So it could start right here, right? And it go all the way up. See Lake Tana right there. So all of this is Kush and Havilah, right? Even Sheba, right? So Havilah, the easternmost point start down here, right? So you go up and you get into the east of Edom and Petra, and you saw it from east to west. Saw smote the Amalekites, showing you that Havilah is east and west of the Red Sea, right? Because when you go to Numbers chapter 12 verse 1, and Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because the Ethiopian woman which he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. This is a son of this is a daughter of the Midianites, Moses' wife, Zipporah, right? And she's called Ethiopia because the land of Midian in the East Sinai Peninsula is in the land of Cush or Havilah, because this is Havilah's land. That's why this map right here, it show you. She from below the blue line, and she called Ethiopian because she in a Cush land, or Havilah, his son's land. Like if you in a Jacob land, but she in a Judah land, because Judah is Jacob's son, right? We even when we go up on the Trismegistos, right? The Trismegistos website, it's like an archaeological database of geographical references and cartographical information. We go upon the word Nile. When we go into the word Nile, you have to remember I said the word Nile is Latinized of Hebrew and Arabic. And the word is Nahal, which means river, and Nile is Greek for river, right? So it's not the name of the river, it's what it is, Nile. And through modern deception practices, they try to block out this information of what people were calling the Nile River as the blue and the white Nile in a modern time with the information blackouts, right? And their controlling of the media information. Like when during the scamdemic, you try to look up certain things. After 24 hours, the man posts and his information or posting on a website gone. They're scrubbing these things off of the information website and platforms that we get information from. So you go into the names of the Nile, right? It's a river located in Egypt, right? Status, river, Potamus fluvius, flumen, right? That's Latin. When you go into the Greek names, you get Nihilus, you get Egyptus, you get Aetos, right? When you go into the Latin name, you get Geon, Gerus, Egyptus, Triton, right? You get the Nihilus, the Gehon, the Gion, the Cirrus, the Hapti, right? All of these things is talking about the Nile River, primarily the White Nile. And it's calling them Gion. You see the references right there. Gion. They're calling the Nile River, called Nile mean river. So what is the river called? It's called Nile. The white Nile is called Gion, and the blue one is called Paishan. Paishan mean for jump and scatter and burst forth. That's why Lake Tana and the Atabara Blue Nile, they just bust out through the mountain, and it adds up to 80% of the flow of the Nile River to Egypt. 80% come out of the Blue Nile, which is less than half of the way that it take for the White Nile for come out of Lake Victoria in Southeast Africa, right? 80% of the Nile River in Egypt is from the Blue Nile, because it busts forth. It fits the definition of the word Paishan. When you go upon the Mui, however you say Fra Moro, it's a map from 1457 to 1459. And when you go into Egypt and Africa upon the map and you see the Nile River, it's marked as being the Gion, right? Because this information was always known. It was never a mystery for find the Paishan and the Gion rivers of Eden. It was never a mystery. This information has been known for centuries and millennia. In our modern history, though, they try to change the names of things so the people don't wake up and connect the dots to information and reveal all of the lies. But the scripture cannot be broken, and corruption is being overcome, and the truth, which has gone so long without any substance, is finally being manifest. Right? So previous zoom in on the map, and in Africa, right? The flume in Nilo up there, right there. So when you go down lower to Egypt, it's called the Gion, because they know it's called the Gion, right? It's always been called the Gion, and it's the white Nile called the Gion, not the one we're starting on modern day Ethiopia, which is Abyssinia or Havilah. That the one we're starting on Ethiopia from Lake Tana, the blue Nile, that is the Paishan. You understand? When you go into biblical commentary, right, talking about Havilah, I can't get the ad off. Oh, there we go. Right, yeah, I go say this area of the Blue Nile is referenced as being Havilah. Right, hold on. Havilah, the Macrobian Ethiopians who dwell in what is now Abyssinia, there was also a Shemitic Havilah in Arabia. The two families probably intermingled and thus bore the common name. right? So this in a biblical commentary has been known for years that Havilah is what we call modern day Ethiopia or Abyssinia or Somalia or Puntland. All of that is Havilah. They say back in a them place there, bro. They're slaves, the slaves in the land of Macrobia, Ethiopia. They put them in a shackles made of gold. That's how much gold those men have. That they have so much gold, they could put their slaves in a gold shackles. Gold shackles on your neck. Gold shackles on your wrist and your ankles. Your slave is richer than our modern day rich man in just him slave decorum. Right? And even in our secular history, right? I spent like 5 hours finding this because it's been scrubbed off the website of the of the what you call it, misc.edu. I think that is wsc.edu, which is Wisconsin College Education. Right? They scrub it off of their website. You can't find this information. You just have to know the name of this book. It's called the Nuremberg Chronicle, being the Liber Chronicarum of Dr. Hartman, translated to English. Right? A brief description of the work of 6 days. So this is secular collegiate commentary on the Bible. And let's see what them talk about Havilah. Hold on. You see how it said there was no findings when I put the search query in. But then you wait a little bit and the search come up. Cause information algorithms. Alright, here it is. From page 32. The Havilah were the Macrobian Ethiopians who dwelt in what is now Abyssinia. There is also a Shemitic Havilah in Arabia. Right? And this is the sons of Ham in this book. Right? It's called the Nuremberg Chronicle, being the Liber Chronicarum of Dr. Hartman, translated in English. And page 32 show you that they know, say Havilah, the land where the one of the rivers are Eden flow. They know the location. It's never lost. Them man, they are lying. They keep the information, the truth out. The scripture said we in a great war of ignorance, and people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and they reject knowledge because truth is being spoken, but people don't want to hear it. They have already grown accustomed to the lies, and they say, what matter does it have? What meaning does this have? It has a lot of meaning because they spend billions of dollars trying to hide it from you. They wouldn't try to hide it if it have no meaning. You understand? And all of this information I get from the secular information of the Vivaldi brothers, right? Bandino and Ugolino were Genoese explorers who had attempted to circumnavigate Africa in 1291 to find new trade routes for the East Indies. They sailed from Genoa, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar, and then headed south along the African coast, but the expedition vanished without a trace. So we're going to dive into the work of the Vivaldi brothers, Bandino and Ugolino Vivaldi. And they make a book, right? Their book is called Conocimiento, El Libro del Conocimiento de Todos los Reinos, right? It's called the Book of the Knowledge of All Kingdoms. And these were real people from 1291 Italy, sponsored by the Vatican, for go and find all of the kingdoms of the earth for how they should conquer them once they figure out who and where they are, right? Before you go to war, you have to figure out who you're going to war against and count the cost and the logistical requirements to do this war expedition. And these Genoese brothers, they do just this, right? So this is the book of the knowledge of kingdoms of all, the knowledge of all kingdoms, lordships, and lands, right? And we're going to go to page 38. I departed from the city of Malsa, the residence of Prester John, and took an eastern route, crossing the river Nilo and finding many cities called Amak, Aramak, Sarma, Oka, Marsinia, Vimia, Gabenacolia, Glocka, and many other towns. Twice I crossed the river Gian and finally reached the great city called Magdazar or Mogadishu. It is a very great empire in which there are many cities, towns, castles, villages, and populous lands of Nubian Christians. This empire of Magdazar is all surrounded by two rivers that come out of the deep seas, encircling the terrestrial paradise. One, Gion, the other, Paishan. On the other side, it is bounded by the Gulf of the Sea of Judea, which enters the land of 40 days' journey. Right? So these Genoese Italian explorers, they go into East Africa and they find the rivers. And when they're documenting the rivers, they make no type of magnificent or marveling at the river. Yeah, yeah. Adam and Eve have sex and they have children. And the children have sex and have more children. And those children that they had, they have sex and have more children than the ones they had before. And then peoples branch off. If I have a baby, that's my baby, right? He get a certain amount of genes from me and from his mom. And sometimes he don't get all the genes from me. He's not a perfect image of me. He's a branch off. He's a branch off. And then he branch off. Yeah. Adam and Eve. Adam, his sons had sex with regular people, and those regular people can't handle the, the stronger, superior genes of him, and the children come out like superstars. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yo, when the Genoese man them were going in East Africa, and they crossed, he crossed the Guyana and the Paysan, he make no marvel at it. Like it was nothing. Like, yo, everyone know this is the Guyana and the Paysan. Everyone know these are the rivers of Eden. He never make no type of marvel at it. They never make no spectacular account like, yo, we find the two rivers of the Garden of Eden. No, everyone know that these were the other two rivers, just like everyone know the Euphrates and the Tigris up there in Iraq are two rivers of Eden. Proven that Havilah, the Paishan and the Guyana rivers were never lost. The Blue Nile of the Paishan, which encompassed this land of Havilah, where the Macrobian Ethiopians with all of the gold live, where the Genoese Italian explorers cross and document, right? We live in a great war of ignorance, but there's a voice crying out in the wilderness coming for cast down our strongholds and imaginations that come against Yahweh Wa, Yahweh Shai. You understand? The truth, which has gone so long without any accolades, it a come out now, right? So let he that is clean remain clean. Let him that is unclean remain unclean. Let him that is holy remain holy, and him that is unholy remain unholy. The wise are going to understand, but the wicked not going to understand. And knowledge are going to increase. So, shalom.